Hello, everybody. This is Renee Varnadore, and this is Soul Portal Journeys, and we are looking at the full moon tomorrow. I'm filming this on November 14th, and the full moon is November 15th on a Friday. Woo! Okay, so it's not an eclipse. It's not, this big, but it is in Scorpio. And it's just before Pluto changes signs for good. Finally, Pluto's going to get out of Capricorn, where he's been since 2008, and go into Aquarius. I like him better in Aquarius. We had a little sneak peek earlier this year, but he went to clean up a bunch of stuff that needed to get adiosed. And I guess it's like, okay, here we go. Acceptance is the key. Sometimes it's easier than others. But anyway, I will love to show you what I am looking at when I look at the sky because there's a lot going on. And it's kind of interesting that the more we know about what's going on in the cosmic forces, the more we can go, oh, that's why that person was overreacting and so emotional and, combative. I get it. Oh, that's why I was feeling this like enormous pressure and okay, I get it. And you sometimes you're not sure what these things are about, but when you learn the language of astrology, like I have, I mean, you could ask me because I learned it. If you don't want to learn it yourself, who could blame you? It's a really long, complex thing. But when you know the archetypes of the patterns and the signs, and you know the sacred geometry of the aspect patterns, then it's like, oh, got it. Yeah, there's a part of you that's not like this brain that got trained to learn a bunch of facts. Well, what AI does that for us now. What we get to do is to focus on what we know within our own hearts. And so we're looking at different archetypal patterns. And so that's what I do. That's what all astrologers do. And you just pick somebody that you like, the way that they explain things, and that just resonates with the way that you like to look at life. So in full moons, what we're looking at is there's always opposites because the moon and the sun are always on an axis opposite each other in the sky. And so the sign that the sun is in is opposite the sign the moon is in. And so this aspect of opposition is really helping us, all of us conscious people anyway, but anybody that wants to be conscious and go, oh, okay, I think I will resolve some polarities within myself. It sounds like a good idea. Sounds like time to release some stuff that's no longer serving me. Let's do it. That's what full moon, that's why people like to think, to know what's going on in a full moon. So full moons, this particular one, I'm going to go into how to work with the axis, the archetypal patterns and the themes that are in opposition so that oh, of all the stuff that's going on, because there's a lot going on, you pick the thing that's going to be able to be released during this particular full moon because the sun and moon are at opposition with each other. And when that's happening, we feel it, it triggers something in us. I like to use the word activates something in us because some people have triggered as a really bad word, like they don't want to be triggered. But if it's activating you, what's happening is it's an opportunity to then look at stuff and say, okay, but what's the common ground between these two opposites? Because pulling ourselves into this opinion or that opinion can be really devastating to people, especially like if you went polar opposite and you went all in on a candidate for president and then they just recently had a presidential election and your person didn't win and now it's like devastating, right? So you got to figure out what to do with resolving all of the polarities that are in the sky in all of the archetypal patterns, and learn, okay, so gee, maybe I should do this next time, or gee, maybe I shouldn't just talk to people that already agree with me. And maybe I should talk to everybody on the planet, and maybe that would be better. So anyway, that's what I learned in the last month since I talked to you on the new moon. So, and the new moons are really beautiful. I love new moons because we can connect to what our soul has, you know, planned for us. And then the ego mind, which is a beautiful thing, can, once the mind knows what in the world the soul wants to do, it just friggin' does it. And it just goes beautifully after that. So that's what I try to help people connect to, what the soul wants to do. Because if your ego, I used to run around like an ego too. So, it's not like it's a bad thing. You shouldn't have an ego. We all need an ego, but we want to make sure it's not running the show. I put mine in the back seat, and it cannot change the radio station. It cannot look at the map. It can sing a pretty little song. That's what it can do. They're helping me out. So anyway, okay, that was a metaphor, right? It's like, okay. But let's look at the chart. I'm going to share screen. And I made it, of course, I make little presentations. And here we go. Here it is. Yes, it's the full moon on the 15th, and we've got this beautiful figure 8 infinity sign with all the different phases of the moon, and we are at the full moon. So we ask, if we're going to meditate on this full moon, ask the question, what is being illuminated? What is being illuminated within me? Sometimes when we first start looking within, we just see darkness, and that's okay, because you're not used to looking, and you're not used to saying, okay, well, what's my light source if I'm looking within? Well, when the sun and the moon are there together, you can pick your light source, and it's just like, oh, okay, I'm going to look and see what's going on when the moon is fully illuminated. I'm going to look and see what's going on when it's talking to the sun. Okay, and then there's some light for you to see by. And then I'm also going to tell you what the stars are that are activated during this full moon. And then you can bring in some starlight too when you're in your meditation. So the meditation question again, what is being illuminated? I'll remind you at the end of this video what that question is and why that's so important. And if you want me to, if you want to jump in with me, and I can lead a meditation for you personally, and I'll tell you more about that at the end if that's something that you're even interested in. If not, let's just get on to the full moon. Woohoo! All right, there it is. There's the sun at 24 degrees of Scorpio, opposite the moon at 24 degrees Taurus. So it's the same degree. This big red line is an opposition, and it's saying that these two are opposites. And that's when we see the moon at its fullest, its biggest, its most illuminating. So we've got this, and there's a couple things that are come along with it. This moon is conjunct Uranus, and Uranus is unexpected change. So a lot of people in the United States are going through unexpected change because they didn't really realize what was going to be happening if this candidate won versus that candidate won. And they're going, what? So unexpected change. Sometimes change is really good, and sometimes change is unexpected, and you have to go, oh, okay, well, how am I going to accept this? And everybody's going to have their own answer. So we've got Uranus and next to Algol, which is a star, and this star has to do with really powerful women who know a lot of spiritual truths. And Medea, no, I'm sorry, not Medea. Medusa was one who was very wise, very smart, And she had all different aspects of her brain, what, online and available. Most of us use very little of our brains. She used a lot of it. So we've got Algol, which is the star related to Medusa in this little Greek mockery story that the astrologers love, that are attributed to the stars. So there's all the, you go look up in the heavens, you see star combinations, and you start seeing archetypal patterns and telling everybody all about them. So it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see it all unfold that way. So Uranus and Algol are conjunct, which means that, and the moon, this is going to be Pacific time. I'm in Pacific time. I'm on the Pacific coast of North America. I'm in Mexico. And so tomorrow at 1:27:28 almost PM, we are get to see this full moon. Well, I don't know if we'll get to see, it depends where the moon is in the sky. The moon was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to see it, but we'll see. So what else is going on? All the rest of this stuff is going on too. We're looking at Sedna right next to some Pleiades stars, which it's been happening for quite a while, ever since Sedna moved into Gemini, and she was up to 1 degree and some, and now she's back retrograding down to 0 degrees again. She's reconnecting with these Pleiades stars, so that's happening. We've got Jupiter, who was already conjunct some Orion stars, and Bellatrix is this one, and Jupiter's been retrograding and is going to be going back before it moves into Taurus later in the year, or later next year. So what else is happening in this chart? We see Pluto at 29 degrees 55 minutes. We know that in 4 days from this full moon, which is tomorrow, from when I'm filming this, Pluto is going to be at 0 degrees 0 minutes of Aquarius, and it's going to stay there for 20 years. So Pluto you got 4 days to figure out what in the world your Pluto journey has been about. So the question is, you can meditate on this one, what has been going on, okay, since 2008? Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008, January 2008. What has been going on, has changed in life? What new opportunities to learn and grow have been coming in that maybe you did not feel comfortable when they first entered? And it was just like, what? My beautiful little perfect world just got disrupted. What happened? And that's kind of how I felt when Pluto entered Capricorn. But you may have, for you, it may have been like, wow, this is amazing. Oh, wow, I'm getting so much done. Oh, wow, I'm really the master of my domain now. This is wonderful. For you, it might have been a good experience. For a lot of people, Pluto likes to show what's underneath things and what's really going on, and showing all of the things that we would like to sweep under the rug, all the problems. We're like, oh my gosh, we have this problem and that problem, and problems with institutions and governments and all sorts of things. And we get to look and see, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Oh, wow, all of this was going on and I didn't know it. This is not good. So what do you do when you're aware of issues and problems? What do you do when you're aware that a lot of people have massive misinformation about what's going on and they just are manipulated by other people? What do you do about that? So those are some of the things you contemplate as Pluto is leaving Capricorn. Pluto is going bye-bye. Thank goodness. I don't know if I can do any more of it. But it also in Capricorn right now is Venus. So Venus is waving goodbye. Venus is going to be in Capricorn for probably the rest of the month. And right now she is conjunct this dwarf planet, Axion, which is the rebel. So we've got Venus and the rebel in Capricorn, making their plan, figuring stuff out, what's going on. And we've got Pluto about ready to move. That's kind of interesting. He's got nothing else going on in Aquarius. That's so weird. But anyway, okay, so what else is going on? Mercury, the planet of communication, is conjunct the great attractor, which means the great attractor is kind of gravitational, and there's all of these planets moving towards the great attractor. There's other points like that in the chart, like the galactic center. You know, the planets are moving towards the galactic center. The planets are moving towards the supergalactic center, which is over here at 2 degrees Libra. The planets are moving toward, then they're moving towards the great attractor, and then they're moving towards Shapley attractor. And Haumea is right on the same degree as the Shapley attractor, which is 2 degrees. So there's this gravitational pull of all of the galaxies moving together towards Shapley attractor. Not all of them, just in our neighborhood of the universe. So that's what's pulling gravitationally towards itself to all of these, like just for instance, the Milky Way galaxy and the Andromeda galaxy, like they're like paired, so they're attracted to each other gravitationally. And then they go to the galactic center, then they go to the supergalactic center, then they go to the great attractor, and then they go to the Shapley attractor together. They're going together. They're going together. So there's all this gravity happening, making things happen, and pulling people, not just planets and galaxies, but pulling people towards each other too, and pulling people towards, and you know that when things are moving with ease and grace, you know you're in the flow of what is unfolding for you, that's supposed to be unfolding for you. That's like a soul-based intention, as opposed to, I think I'll go do this now, which could be oh, look, everybody thinks, oh, you're going to be successful if you do X, Y, Z. I'm going to do it. No, but it never works for me. It might work for you, but that's never worked for me. So we still have Mars across from Pluto. So we're not feeling it as strongly as when Mars was in 29 degrees of Cancer before it moved into Leo. I was just like, oh, that was a hard day for me. I was just feeling every pain in my body was just decided to jump up and announce itself. And so I went to bed early. But it's sometimes you just have those days and you just have to take care of yourself, and you have to, meditate, work with the energy, admit and embrace it, move all the way through the feelings, through all the heartaches, through all the confusion, through all of the something's wrong, and move into, oh, okay, this is what I need to do moving forward. So you eventually get the insight, and then the pain stops. That's when you know you got it. So it's kind of, at least that's the way it works for me. It may work differently for you, and figure out how it does work for you. That's my invitation. That's my suggestion. All right, so we've got Saturn in Pisces, and Saturn is still conjunct this gorgeous Arcturus star that's like the end of the river. It's a beautiful flow. So Saturn is helping. Saturn was in retrograde and it's stationed. And what happens is Saturn is helping us structure what is new and what is coming for us, what are new soul intentions. So Saturn is stationed down, so it's helping us structure what it is we want to do. It's really important when you get some Piscean insight, which is very watery, very intuitive, very otherworldly. It's very helpful to get some structures coming in. Neptune's been in Pisces for quite a while, many years, and Neptune's in retrograde right now, retrograding away from this gorgeous star Shiat, but still close enough that we can invite in all the star beings through our crown chakra and archangels and, ascended masters if you've connected to some of those beings. That would be awesome because we have a lot of help and support right now on this planet because there's so much changing so fast. And it's moving. It's going to be moving really fast for the next 2 years. And then it's going to just kind of go, oh. So it's that'll be really interesting. But here we've got the star Fomalhaut, which is Archangel Gabriel's star. So if you need some support, you can always, during the next couple of days, call on Archangel Gabriel. We've got Gong Gong, which is a dwarf planet, conjunct Archangel Gabriel's star Fomalhaut right now. So this is really good. This is a good thing. And Gong Gong is this kind of wizard presence. So there's a lot of wisdom going on. And there's wisdom moving back and forth from Archangel Gabriel's star, Fomalhaut, that looks like the eye of God, and Gong Gong, which is the wizard. So we've got those two in 4 degrees of Pisces. We've got and let's see, where else do we go? There's actually, I don't, that's weird. But there's 3 stars in Aquarius at 0 degrees, 1 degrees, and 2 degrees. And so Pluto is going to be hitting all of those stars, but Pluto's conjunct those stars now, but it'll just be a stronger connection to those stars once Pluto moves into Aquarius. And it's really good because one of them, Altera, I work with quite a lot because it's this beautiful star that has to do with courage and stepping up and stepping into courage. So if something new is upon you and you're like, well, I released all this old stuff, what's even left? It's just time for me to step into what's new and what's available and to be able to co-create with the universe and with other humans and other beings that are on this planet to move forward with what we are creating. That's completely new, that hasn't really been here before. So there's a lot of new coming in, and we can be part of creating the new, or we can sit in our house and cry about everything and blame everybody else and like totally miss the ride, in my opinion. So I want to know what's going on. So I do astrology. So we've got the North Node. The nodes are about to change signs. The nodes have been in Aries, Libra for quite a while, and they're going to be moving in January to Pisces, Taurus. Pisces, Virgo. Taurus is over here, where the moon is. So the nodes are going to be moving into Pisces, Virgo in January. And I'm part of an entire Galactic Astrology 2025 summit. So I'll be inviting you guys to that. That'll be exciting and interesting. You'll be able to see kind of what's going to be unfolding. And then I have another offer for you about what's going to be unfolding in years 2025, 2026. Lots of stuff. So let's see, what else do we have that we didn't talk about? This one, Mahi Mahi, is opposite, which is wholeness and being able to see the whole big picture, the whole way the cosmos works. And it's opposite right now, this one, Celestia, which is spiritual fulfillment. So there's just this beautiful sense of, seeing yourself and who you truly are and having this spiritual fulfillment about your own essence of being. And you're just saying, forget it. Forget all the other nonsense that I was ever thinking. I am just going to be myself, and whatever people like it, great. People that don't like it, okay, adios. I'm going to be myself. And so that's what's happening with Celestia right now, as we step into the only way we're going to feel spiritually fulfilled is if we are authentically ourselves. And then the opposite of that, mahi mahi, where we're looking at all of these different perspectives, we're just looking at all of these different ways of being that other people are, or other beings are, and we can start to see how that all is working. We can start to see how much we need everyone else as we co-create what is going to be next. We are creating together what is going to be next on this planet for humanity and the other species and beings on this planet. So we've got that going on, which is interesting. And the sun is right on this star called Hadar. And so I keep saying other beings because Hadar is Beta Centauri, is related to Beta Centauri. And that is a star that is really connected to the Fae, to the Fae folk, to the fairies and the unicorns and the beings that went into the earth, the center of the earth, and got off the surface. And they live on the earth. It's just humans can't see them because we've been raised just to see with our five senses. But we believed that that's all there was to see. And so the unseen world became even more invisible to us as science kind of took over and education kind of took over our whole minds. And of course, the veil has been really thin since 2012, and a lot of us have been opening into our intuition since then and being able to see and feel and know with our own heart. And that will be coming in. Being able to see and know with our own heart is going to be coming up even more as the age of Aquarius is really here and now. As of November 19th, there are no more astrologers holding out saying it's not the age of Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius. It's here. So we're going to be looking, that's going to be amazing. So I hope if you guys read any of this, that was interesting to you. I'm not going to go over it. So here is the axis, the polarity. Okay, we're looking at all of the polarities. So for instance, if this is last month, the full moon was in Libra and the sun was in Aries. No, other way around. The moon was in Aries and the sun was in Libra because it's now Scorpio season. So we've got the self kind of like kind of what I was saying about Celestia, knowing that the essence of who I am on a soul level is the only thing that's going to be spiritually fulfilling to me now in this lifetime. So I'm going to protect that. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to do those things that bring me the most joy, the most peace, and allow me to be loving kindness on this planet. Okay, so that is going on. And the other in Libra was how am I going to be now in relationship to other people? In what way? Am I going to be the leader? If a lot of hierarchy structures are crumbling, it's not a good time to be a leader. Am I going to be a follower? Not a good time to be a follower. So how is that even going to work? The best thing to do is to work with people that are collaborative and co-creating the the new earth, the new way of being here on the planet. So we've got self and other. That was last month. This month we're in Taurus, which is grounding, and Scorpio, which is letting go. So the sun's in Scorpio. It's time to let go of all of the ways that you used to be in the world and all of the plans for how things were going to work out for you as you were going through this part of your process. And so as you let go of more things, then you get to ground in your choices of what you are choosing now to keep and maybe go deeper with, more, maybe go deeper into the core of the earth. That's been my choice over the last couple of weeks. It's going grounding into the core of the earth, letting go of ideas and thoughts of how I thought it was all going to be. So we're resolving the polarity of grounding and letting go. Yes, you can let go and ground. You can ground and let go. It doesn't matter which one you do first, but you need both of them. It's not one or the other. Okay. So don't get into the polarity of, I'm just going to talk about myself and everybody else can just, I don't care. That's not good either. Or just saying, oh, I'm just going to please everybody and all the people in my relationship. That doesn't work. So we don't want to be stuck in I'm just going to let go of everything. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, I don't have any food because I gave it all away. So you have grounding and letting go. You have self and other, and you're coming into a balance on each one of these polarity points. And as we go through the year and all the full moons, we get to touch in and work with and be activated by each one of these. So for me, grounding deeper into the core of the earth helps me remember that all life, why put a V there? All life breathes together, which is something Carolyn Mays always says. So it just hit me that was true because I never knew what she was talking about before. And then letting go of my old wounding around misunderstanding. Now, I'm one of the people with Chiron in Aquarius, and it's in my first house. So, which is, my personality, how people see me. And when I first was blasted open, like my third eye opened and I could see everything happening all at once at the same time, it was very confusing because time's not really real anyway, but we perceive it that way as past, present, future, moving on in a linear line. And when you kind of blast open and you go, and that's not even the way it is, and everything's happening all at once, it's really hard to understand at first. And when you try to explain to people what you're perceiving, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. So there was a big, huge wounding and not getting any help or support when I was going through some really pivotal stuff when I was like 18 and trying to figure stuff out, try to figure out what I was doing on the planet. So there was a lot of misunderstandings. And so when I decided that, oh, I know a few things now that I'm in my 60s. I want to share that, but didn't want to share all of my intuitive thoughts and wisdom to just anyone. I only wanted to share with people that would understand me. So I went through 6 years of only having people come and listen to me that are capable of understanding what I was talking about, because those are the kinds of things that are opening for them too. And, when I see violence on TV, I get very upset, or I feel violence happening in places around the world. And I remember that there are other people on the planet besides me who want peace. And so I go to the core of the earth. I take the peace poles that we have in all of the towns I've ever lived with, have a peace pole, which just says, may peace prevail on earth. And people get together and plant these in their community. And the fact that there are a lot of communities with these peace poles in it is very reassuring to me. And so I just imagine these peace poles going down all the way to the core of the earth. And then I just focus on those people and call in those people to come and listen to me and, subscribe to my channel and take my class and get a reading with me and all this other stuff. Just if you understand me, then come, right? Well, if I'm only talking to people that understand what I'm talking about, how is that helping really? It could, yeah, it is helping the planet. But wouldn't it be helping the planet more if I was trying to understand people that don't agree with me, don't know what I'm talking about, and I could work to understand them and not worried that they didn't understand me? Why should they? I mean, it used to be like, Oh my gosh, but I have centered within myself now, decades later, and it's not important for me anymore to be understood. I understand myself. I talk to people, I have a lot of people that I talk to who understand me. So I'm not worried about this anymore. This is not a thing for me. Thank goodness, because that is the Chiron wound. And I'm like, oh, I just healed the sacred Chiron wound. Woohoo! Yeah, but there's still going on. I'm not done. So here we go. Tis better to understand. This is the work now. It is better to understand, to spread loving kindness around people that have no clue what is going on in my little brain and in my heart. No freaking clue, and they don't need to. So let's see what that's like. I don't know. I may not like it, but that's what my choices are moving forward. That's what I'm grounding into. So now when I go to the core of the earth, I ground into every single human, every being, every cat, every dog, every insect, every rat, every animal, every plant life, every microbe, every um entity that lives at the center of the earth, every fairy, every gnome, every troll, every whatever whatever mythical beings that aren't mythical you want to connect to that are living on this planet with us, you know shaking their head going, what are you guys doing up there? You what? So we're looking at this and it's like, all right, how can I understand? How can I open to understand some of the other beings that aren't even human that are on this planet with us? So, and you might not understand that, and that's okay. You don't need to. It's just an example of what you can learn at this time and what you can release and what you can ground into. So then we've got the stars. So there are star beings that are helping us too, and they're giving us insights, all kinds of insights. These are the stars. There's some three, there's some Orion stars, there's Algol, there's the supergalactic center and the Shape attractor and the greater attractor that I was talking about. That's Beta Centauri. So actually, because I'm talking about that now, while the sun is on Beta Centauri, you might actually go, really? There are really fairies? Then it's not a made-up story? No, there really are. And you might be able to tune into them today. Today might be the day. You never know. Oh, these are two of the Pluto stars that Pluto's already conjunct and going to be communing with more. And that's Eterna is the star that Saturn is. Now, we've got Saturn in this we've got Saturn in a sextile to Pluto, and then we've got no, and Pluto and Neptune. Where's Neptune? Anyway, we've got Pluto, Neptune, there's Neptune, and there's Uranus. We've got Pluto, Uranus having a late degree Earth um late degree Earth trine, and then they're both sextiling Neptune in Pisces. So we've got a minor Earth trine right here between the outer planets. And so that's what I'm talking about over here, where Uranus is divine mind, Neptune is divine heart, and Pluto is transformation. Okay. So all of that happening in the stars. Now, what about the degrees that this is happening on? Well, in Taurus, where the moon is at 24 degrees, is talking about working collectively, which is one of the things I was talking about. Belonging to a community, working together with shared goals, participation in community responsibilities, working in harmony, no competition, being able to live in peace. So a large, well-kept public park. where this collective work can happen. So that's very interesting at this time. I forgot that that's what this was. So what's going on with the sun? Well, the sun is in Scorpio, seeing beneath the surface to an understanding of life. So a lot of us, because this is a Scorpio full moon, are able to see with X-rays right now. We're able to see more than with our five senses, to see what's going on beneath the surface. We get to see all kinds of reporting on the news about what's really going on in the world, as all these political people kind of, you know, take advantage and manipulate. We kind of see how that's going. And the more deeply we look into life ourselves, we realize there is no other human to blame for my life and what's happening to me. I I get to make my own choices. I get to move through life. I get to make choices on how I move through life. Am I going to move through life with blame and anger and retribution, or am I going to move through my life with understanding, working together, um, with others, dispelling the illusions and seeing the truth, seeing what's really going on within my own heart. When I look inside, at first it was all dark, couldn't see, being able to shine light on what is within me, because what is in one is within the whole. So if I'm upset about somebody else's greed, I have to look at that within me and solve that. And then I can move on and move forward into all of the different ways of healing myself. So this is seeing beneath the surface. So that's what's going on with Scorpio. So this is a really powerful time. Once you see it, let it go. Once you see it, let it go. And ground into community and collaborative work. Okay. So letting go and grounding, the two opposites that you come together on. So this is really quick. I'm going to move through this quickly. This is Algo, the binary star. That's Medusa. This is Cassiopeia, where this Algo is taking place. So this is happening. Uranus, divine mind, is conjunct that. Shiat is where Neptune is conjunct. Beautiful Shiat in the Pegasus, the winged horse. Right there is Shiat. And this one is one of those stars, Aldebaran, that Pluto is hitting. There's Vega there, but there is Aldebaran, right by the Lyra constellation. So that's a beautiful feeling, intuitive feeling star. This one is on Cygnus, which is the beak of this swan. It's actually a binary star. You can see the two stars there. It's kind of interesting. A lot of times when there's a binary star, there's a yellow star and a blue star. So it's kind of interesting. I'm noticing that it may not pan out if I looked at everything. But this is kind of like the great mother star. And so the mother nurturing, gentle energy can come up. This one is Altaris, the one I was telling you about, that it has to do with courage, and it is on the beak of the eagle. So we've got two soaring birds. There's Altar, and there's some of the other stars that are on the beak of the eagle. So all of these stars are helping us as we move through this. They're light coming to us. This one has been the most helpful to me lately. And Eris, the dwarf planet, has been opposite Arcturus for quite a while now. And so we've really gotten to know, since I've gotten to know Eris, and that she is fierce grace, that helps me connect to Arcturus through fierce grace into what Arcturus is, which is the unconditionally loving Arcturian star beings who are helping us with needed emotional healing. So if you're still feeling hopeless, devastated, or crazy over anything that's happening in the collective right now, you can call on these Arcturian beings to help you with the healing. They have a very unconditionally loving, angelic feeling about them. Okay. So there's a very similar feeling to angels, but they are very good. at helping us with the needed emotional healing that is coming up for so many of us right now. So I promise to tell you what I'm offering right now. And if you're gonna like go away, oh, she's selling something, I'm done. Please subscribe before you do that and hit the little like button if you liked this video and you want to see more content. That will have, if I have more subscribers, I'm gonna make more content. And so if you'd like to hit link, hit subscribe, hit like. So for those of you who are sticking around because kind of want to know what is she offering? Year ahead astrology reading, because four major planets are changing signs. Four major planets. That's the three that I was talking about, Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, the transformer, and also Saturn. All three of them, all four of them are changing signs next year. Jupiter is too, but Jupiter changes signs every year. So there's really the five outer planets are changing signs next year. And then some of them are going to come back and then they're going to move again into the new sign permanently in 2026, which is why these next 2 years are going to be like boom, 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 change, 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 fast, fast, fast. And we're going to feel it because these are slow moving planets and they're generational planets. And it's not like the Venus, Mercury, and Mars that move really quickly. The sun and moon move really quickly through our charts, and we barely have a chance for them to teach us anything. These are our teacher planets. They've got lessons for us. So we need to know what our lessons are going to be in the new signs when they enter those. Because when we know what the new energies are and we know what to expect, then we don't get broadsided and we're just able to go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is my lesson. I didn't figure out what my Pluto lesson was until 5 years, 6 years before Pluto was out. So the first, what is it, 8 years Pluto was in Capricorn, I was just suffering like crazy and thinking it was all my fault. And none of it was my fault. It was Pluto. It was Pluto changing everything. And I could have saved myself a lot of suffering if I'd known that. So it's just helpful to know that the planets are helping us and activating stuff instead of, oh my gosh, I'm such a failure and I'm so triggered by everything. Yeah. You can stay crying and you're crying if you want, but if you want to open up and see what's really going on, book a reading. Um, it's going to be different for you than it is for other people because your planets are different and you get to know that being you is okay. One of the things I love to do is to tell people how wonderful they are when I look at their chart. It's just like, wow, amazing. And I just let people know that who you are is just fine. Just show up as you. And this is, and then I give them a heads up on some of the things that they're going to be dealing with in the coming year. And it's just really important. You're going to know what dates those are, and those are really good dates to meditate. The more you meditate on dates where we're being activated by the planets, doing things like changing signs, stationing, doing things, going retrograde, the more you're aware of those dates, the more you can meditate around those dates, like 2 days before, 2 days after, within a 5-day period, stuff's happening. And when you meditate on, okay, wait a minute, is this Pluto in Aquarius? Yes or no? Get a yes or no. So once you know your intuitive yes and your intuitive no, you can discern what archetypal pattern is going on, what is happening that is causing this disruption within your energy so that you can return in alignment with more fully being who you really are and who you came to be, stepping more fully into your power, stepping more into your strength, into your gifts, not being afraid or apologetic, stepping out with courage as you speak your truth. All of those wonderful things that many of us are working around, knowing that we are enough. This was a big, I mean, I've been working this for a long time and I haven't really seen it as a problem lately, but it's just reinforced that I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. And it's just like, oh my gosh, that really landing that, anchoring that, grounding that in was so relaxing to me. I just got to let go of a lot of cultural and societal things that I felt bound by, and I don't need to be bound by that. So all of that is like, if I'm not enough for you, adios amiga. I know who I am, and I know who I'm in relationship now, and how we work together. And so if you want to know what's going to be happening for you next year, um, this is a really good price. I've got 6 more sessions of this available for people on my calendar that are open, last 2 weeks of November and first 2 weeks of December. So get them now, because they're going to be gone. I'm not going to do this at this really great price as we move further into the year. So make sure that you book. And how are you going to book? Well, hit see more in the show notes, and the link to my calendar will be there, and you just click it and you just see the link to my calendar. Once I see that you've booked, I'll send you a payment request from PayPal, and you can send me the $155 before the session, and then tell me that there's a couple of questions to answer about the session, so that it's really what you want to focus on and what you're really concerned about for what's going on next year. So those are all things. This is an opportunity for you to get more clarity on who you really are, who you came here to be, and what your latest learnings are. So if you want to say, if you don't know me, hello, let's meet. Let's meet. I'm inviting you to a free new moon ceremony on Monday, December 2nd, which is 2 days after the new moon. But it's a Monday, and it's at noon Pacific Standard Time. I still have daylight time there, but it's we're in Standard Time now. And it's live on Zoom. And we do about an hour, and it's let me know in the comments, email me. There's my email address in there, or you can go to my website or whatever. In the comments, you'll see my website if you want to go. If you're not sure you really want to book this reading thing, you can go to my website and read more about me, about my testimonials, about what this reading really is. And if you just kind of want more information, you don't know me at all, then you just kind of go to my website and click that link in there. But the link will also be in the show notes for those of you who know me and say, well, yeah, you do great astrology readings. Of course, I'm going to get my year ahead from you. So that, I'm inviting all of you guys in different ways. So here we go. And then we like to chat after the 1 hour new moon ceremony, where we ask the question, what is being conceived within me now? Because in the new moon, the new stuff comes forward, and we get to see on a soul level what we are desiring, and then we get to put it into action, so our ego knows what in the heck's going on and what to do, and what we're going to be committed to doing day after day after day to bring this soulful intention into anchoring it in and grounding it in. So it's time to release a bunch of stuff and ground in your choices. So that's what this full moon is about. And I hope to meet some of you guys that have been watching that I don't even know. I hope to meet you on December 2nd when we do a live. There's about 8 people that show up, and we chat, and you can share or not share. Some people wait until YouTube is over before they start sharing, and that's fine. You don't want the entire world of 200 people that follow this channel to know your stuff. But I'm very grateful to those people that do share, because it is so, when we share our truth with each other, we all learn so much. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm just going to say, meditate, meditate, meditate. See what is being illuminated within you. Let the moon and the stars and the sun help you see within you, help you see what to let go of and release, see what you need to ground into. So love and blessings. Have a beautifully illuminating full moon. Bye-bye.